Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Jays Today. I'm Jasper Wilson, and this is Claire Meisland. And like usual, today we will be bringing you highlights and stats and news from Bonner for our athletic activities.
Homecoming was last week. Don't forget about that one, too.
Yeah, what a fun week. I'm sure everybody got lots of sleep, and the parade was very fun.
I bet no one did any bad extracurriculars that week.
No, typically that's one of the best acting students are all year.
I bet you stayed home every single night.
Every night.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, let's go into football from the last few weeks. Week 5 against Newton, we played number 10. Took another loss, but I think we played pretty well.
Yep, Newton was another tough team. Their quarterback, Kaylen Torrence, played outstanding.
245 rushing yards on 17 carries and 4 touchdowns.
Yep. But on the other side, Jordan Ryle had 355 passing yards, which is no small feat.
Mm-hmm. For 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
And, we actually had twice as many first downs as them, more total yards, and held the ball for nearly 13 more minutes.
That's pretty crazy. And then another thing I feel like is worth the mention is the upbringing of Gavin Vrew.
Yeah. As
our last guest on our last show, Blake Guthrie talked about Next Man Up. Gavin Vrew came up from only getting a couple varsity carries to having pretty much all of our carries and rushing for over 100 yards against Newton.
Yeah, definitely. We played well, but we definitely kind of just shot ourselves in the foot during that game. But it was still a good outlook for the rest of district play. A little shout out to Jace Robinson, too. He reached his goal for every kick counts, the stillbirth prevention campaign. He had 40 points for the season, and season's not over yet. So still a good chance to get some money raised for that.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch him kick, and everyone go support every kick counts.
Yeah. So moving into the next week, homecoming week, week 6 against Hoover, another district matchup. We needed that confidence booster.
Yeah, and that was a super fun atmosphere. It seemed like everybody was genuinely having fun compared to some of the past games where not a ton of energy on the sidelines and guys are kind of down. Yeah, that was a super fun game.
Yeah, we were sharing the love, and not one person had more than one rushing touchdown.
Yeah, the fact that 7 different guys had touchdowns is just insane.
Yeah, we were able to see some of our depth, get a lot of guys in. It was just kind of exactly the energy you need for a homecoming game.
Yeah, it was really cool to see guys mixed and matched. First one that comes to my mind is Eric Rodriguez, who was a good runner, and it was fun to see him and fun to see some different quarterbacks, and it was a good game.
Definitely, which leads us into this Friday. We're facing number 9, undefeated Gilbert at their home stadium.
Yeah, so everyone knows Gilbert, they're 6-0, but they were also 6-0 last year coming to our home, and we pulled off the win. So we're looking to do the same thing.
Historically, since 2010, we've played 10 times, and we are 7-3 in the matchup. In the last 4 years, we've taken the win by some pretty good deficits. And like you said, last year, they came in undefeated, and we knocked them right back down. So hopefully we can get some momentum going into that game.
Yeah, hopefully our fun and our confidence that came from Hoover can carry through against Gilbert.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty good game.
Yeah.
Next up is volleyball. They just had a few home games, not doing so hot in those games, but they're still playing some pretty good competition. They haven't quite put all the pieces together yet, but they got to keep working together.
Yep, they had a tournament in Nevada last Sunday where they took down Lake Mills team, which is a smaller school, but they had a 16-8 record. So good record, solid team, and we came out on top. And in that same tournament, they also beat Dallas Center Grimes.
Yeah. The energy needs to stay consistent from this team. That's what I'm noticing is the good games come from the energy from the sidelines from the team, and they're struggling when they don't have that. They have to work in the gym to keep improving their weak spots, especially serve receive, their serves, and just cleaning up those errors.
The schedule in volleyball also gets more intense where they'll be having 2 games a week. And one game that everybody should go to is this Thursday against Carroll. That'll be a pink out. Those games always have great energy.
Yeah, and then this weekend they have the West Side Invite at Cedar Rapids Jefferson. There's a bunch of big teams that go there. It'll be a great confidence boost if we do good there.
Now, moving on to cross country, as you can see, we have a guest. Her name is Lauren Watson.
Hey, Jays.
Actually, our new school record holder, Lauren Watson.
Yes.
Roland Story, you snagged the school record.
It was definitely a fun experience. Crossing the finish line and just seeing all of my fans and everyone just like congratulating me. It was a great time.
Yeah. So girls-wise from that meet, girls were the first non-ranked team, if you didn't know. Boys were the team champions, second meet of the season. You and Autumn placed. And, taking home the school record's pretty nice. You took it from our very own school faculty member, Jamie Wagner.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Have you had any conversations with her about that?
Yeah, it was because Kyle, our coach, that's Jamie's husband, and so Kyle always brings up like, what's Jamie thinking and saying.
For your time, you ran a 20:10:49. That's a 6:29 mile.
Yeah,
For 3.1 miles.
yeah. It's definitely hard. In the race, there's constant thoughts about giving up because you can stop at any point of the race, so it's a big mental aspect.
Yeah, you came in at a 5:57 in mile 1.
Yeah. When I was running by, I heard someone say my mile time, and I was just flabbergasted because I've never ran a mile individually that fast. So to add 3 more,
Wow.
was crazy.
Yeah. So that was a pretty good performance out of everyone there. Next into Williamsburg, we had Niall Davis and Brady Sanger medal, and the boys placed third behind number 4 Mount Vernon Lisbon and number 9 ADM, with us being ranked 13. Pretty good, solid. The girls were the first non-ranked, non-4A school to place. So that's pretty good out of that. Looking forward into conference, that's coming up next week.
Yeah. I'm definitely a little nervous for conference just because I feel like after setting the record, I kind of set the bar pretty high. So I'm just going to work on going out there and doing my thing. And I'm hoping I can get a pretty good start and finish the race pretty high up.
Yeah. On the girls' side, 5 out of the 8 teams in the Raccoon River are ranked in 3A, and we're currently unranked. We're looking for 5th to 6th and becoming that first unranked team to finish.
Yeah.
On the boys' side, 6 out of the 8 teams are ranked, including us. Number 1 Gilbert, number 9 ADM, and us at 13th, but we're still fighting off that number 14 team, Carlisle. Looking forward to districts. The placements aren't out yet, but we're awaiting those 5 possible sites. And the boys and their placements can help get a preferred spot.
Yeah. I'm definitely hoping that the boys set a big influence on where we're going because there's obviously spots where I wouldn't particularly want to go, but you know what? What happens, happens. So excited for that.
Well, I'm not a huge cross-country guy, so I don't know everything. But when you say 5 preferred spots, are you saying that, like, if a team does good, they get to choose where they go for districts?
So there are 5 possible sites for cross-country state qualifying, which means if you are a higher placing team, the boys and girls teams go to the same placement. If you're a higher team, they'll put you at a spot where you have a better chance to qualify.
So, Lauren, as you're moving in from regular season to state qualifying, how does your mindset shift?
So I feel like my mindset has shifted a lot, from coming from the beginning of the season, just kind of going out there to starting and going to practices and not really taking it that seriously, to when I got more throughout the season and when we get closer to state qualifying, I've really been focusing on giving my all during practice because how I perform at practice is how I'm gonna perform at a meet. So I've definitely been taking practices more seriously and just training harder.
With districts and state coming up, who are you looking to bring with you?
This is a great question. So throughout our meet so far, there's been one girl, Autumn Harder, who's really just shown off since last season and really has like just blown everyone away. I'm hoping I can bring Autumn Harder with me to state. She just put in a lot of work, and with her being by my side, it makes practices a lot more fun, and it really motivates me to perform better because she constantly is pushing herself. And so like when I feel like she pushes herself, it also pushes me.
Being a state qualifier last year and a state wrestling qualifier, you kind of have that weight of expectation, and now you're getting into wrestling practices. How's that balance between the two?
Oh, it's hard. So from going to cross country, which is a lot of cardio, to a wrestling practice, which is a lot of high intensity training, it's really hard. And plus the fact that wrestling is a very physical sport. So coming to cross country practice being sore, it's definitely not fun. But when it's two things I love, it's worth it.
So that leads us into another question. Obviously, we don't have girls wrestling. So what is it like competing for a different school?
I love this question. I absolutely love Ankeny. I think I was really scared at first when I first found out I'm going to be going to Ankeny because I didn't know any girls from the school, and obviously that's pretty scary. But right as I got there, I felt like I fit in immediately because every girl that's there wants to get better, and that's really what I felt like I needed. And plus, all of them were just really welcoming, and I love competing with the team and going to fun tournaments. It's amazing.
All right, Lauren, thank you for joining us, and good luck to the rest of your cross-country season, and good luck to the beginning of your wrestling season.
Yeah, thank you.
Jays Today is sponsored in part by the Bondurant for Our Athletic Booster Club. Consider becoming a booster sponsor today. And if you're at the football game on Friday night, check out all the sweet Blue Jay merchandise they have stocked at the Jay Shop. This podcast is also supported by Vision Bank. For more than 140 years, Vision Bank has maintained its commitment to helping build strong communities. They have been locally owned and locally focused since 1884.
Next on our show, we have our guest, a swimmer at Southeast Polk, Kaylen Torrence. Kaylen, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Kind of explain to us how swimming works.
So I like to reference swimming a lot to track, like heats, lanes, events, and you have like the different distances. So like the furthest we go in swimming is a 500, but it takes about 5 to 8 minutes, give or take, depending on the swimmer. It could take longer than that to do that, which is kind of like a mile in track. But there's 6 to 8 lanes depending on the pool, and then you just have your events. You have distance people, sprinting people. It's not as divided though. You can kind of do whatever.
So we just had Lauren Watson on our show, and similar to you, she competes for another school. So what is it like to you to compete for Southeast Polk?
It really wasn't that, like, the transition into going to a different school for a different sport was really honestly not that bad. I think it helped that I did know some of the girls on the team due to swimming at the club that is at Southeast Polk before I switched teams. Honestly, no one's rude. No one's like mean or anything. Like you get along with everybody. Like no one is really beefing with each other, honestly. Everyone's super sweet. And like there's so many different levels of swimmers on our team too. So like we have people who have never swam before, and it is so cool to watch them get like so good at swimming. It is so cool. So if you wanted to do it, like honestly, you don't have to be nervous. There's people who have never swam before that join our team. No one really cares how fast you are.
You're not the only Bonneret for our Blue Jay who's going to Southeast Polk to compete. Talk about who else is competing over there.
So we have me and Lillian Kahn as swimmers, and then Holly Hetzer and Aubrey Lewis as divers. Holly is just so good at diving. She puts in a lot of work after out of season, as a lot of our swimmers do club too. But Holly is, I think, like third in the state right now. She just is very, like, she did gymnastics before diving. A lot of our divers do. And then that transitions into the diving. And then she's just worked really hard to be where she's at.
So you've competed in all these different events. Where have you had the most success?
Past 3 years, I've gotten the opportunity to go to state. My freshman year, I went in both the free relays and the 500. And then last year, I made all 4 events with both my free relays, the 2 and the 5. My freshman year, I got up on the record board for my 500. And then I beat the time last year, so kind of just up there again.
Where do you see your career taking you in the future?
So I want to swim in college. I'm kind of in the middle of that process right now, talking to coaches and having coaches calls and official visits, like seeing the team, spending the night with the team. It's a lot, but you'll kind of get the opportunity to see how different teams work, how different competition levels work, especially different divisions, see how this, like Division 1, Division 2, how they differ, what you kind of like more. It's just really, I'm really excited. I'm really excited to swim for the next 4 years and get that opportunity.
So now that you've told us a little bit about swim, I'm sure there'll be people interested to see how they can watch you.
Most of our meets are live streamed through YouTube or separate websites, but usually through YouTube. And you can find that link through like the Southeast Polk, Swimming and Diving, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And then obviously you can just kind of look on results, varsity bound.
Well, thank you for coming in, and good luck for the rest of your season. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and don't forget to tune in on our next episode. Follow us on our socials at Blue Jay Digital.
And also, don't forget to follow our Instagrams at CM Media Productions and Jasper P. Wilson. And remember, it's always a great day to be a Blue Jay.